Okay, let's see what's going on. Okay, got it. Hello, everybody. We're gonna get live in here. Okay, Daytime Today Live. Let's get it going. Hi, you guys. I'm on late. I had to come on, you guys. I had a long day. A very long, stressful day. Very long, stressful day. Oh, I don't even know anymore. It was a day where I almost quit a job. I almost quit a job, a client. I almost did. I almost just said fuck it and quit. Hi Susan. I say, you know who makes you feel better? Beauty for Ashes, hello, is you guys. So that's why I'm coming on. Like I said, I need to feel better. I need to feel better. It was a very long, not great day. Well, actually, it started out fine. Actually, the morning part was the first part of the morning was fine. Great client. We worked it out, had a good time, got paid. Hi, V Carter. But it was from the afternoon on. I was accused of something, and I had to defend myself, but not to that person who accused me. So I was trying to talk to that person. So I have a client accused me of something, and I did not do it. I have paper trails, I have all kinds of stuff, so I didn't do it. But it's just how you defend your honor, how you defend your um, character. But everybody involved, besides this person, can vouches for my character and vouches for what everything that's going on. So I was like, I literally just got off the phone an hour ago with all of this stuff. We're going on for all day. I mean, it's just crazy talk. People have interesting perspectives. See, it's not like the fan. This is like it's actually we're co-worker, co-contributor, co-producer things. And this person is newer, so I don't know her very well. She'll know me very well, but other folks know me very well, and they're so it's a crazy talk. And then after all of that, kids, I go on Twitter. I've been on Twitter all day. I haven't been on Twitter all day. I've been all day. I've been busy dealing with this crap. I go on Twitter and I see a tweet. It's the first. It's a first for me. It's a total first. I saw a couple of tweets. The first tweet I was like doing. I was like, whatever. The second tweet, the same guy tweeted me twice. Well, the first tweet is agree with me and Paulina stuff. That's fine. I didn't even respond to that. That's you have a right to feel what you feel. But I watched my show last night. We had Connection Sub Talk with DC Sub Sanctuary. We mentioned you, Sarah, last night on the show. DC Sub Sanctuary and our Boston. We did a show together, almost 2 hours. It was wonderful. It was great. It was a lot of fun. I think Beauty, you were on there last night. I think V, you were on last night. My dear, so bad having a drink. I'm having me a drink. So there's vodka in there. And so I guess this is a first. This is totally a first for me. So we were talking about on the show how much I get from fans. Fans attack me all the time, and I'm fine. I don't give a fuck. It's on Sarah on YouTube. Extra Connection Soap Talk. It's right here. It's on the front page. You can totally see it. Okay. He says to me, this is the first time I've ever seen this. It's so funny. He was offended by my using the analogy stepchildren when describing how the general Hollywood universe treats soap operas. It's an old setting saying they treat them like stepchildren, blah, blah. I never say redheaded stepchildren. I never said, I have redheaded cousins. I love them. I never said redheaded. But they treat them like stepchildren. So I use that analogy. He, out of everything I did on the show, and he says he's a fan of mine. I watch this, I'm a fan, but I like being a stepchild. My stepdad should be better than my bio dad, and you should know better and all this stuff. I'm like, I've had such a horrible day. I defend my honor to real people, not fans, but to real people out there who actually affect how they pay me. And then I come on Twitter And that was the most unique tweet I've had, I think, in a long time. I was like, so everything I said, that's what you got offended by? Was I? No, no, no. I said this on the show, and a guy watched the show and responded on Twitter. That was just like, I said it. And I was like, I was gonna ignore it, say, oh, whatever. I just don't have time for you right now. But I did. So I was semi-nice, semi-shady, I'm sure. But I did say, I'm sorry you were offended by my analogy. I still stand by my analogy, but I'm sorry that you are offended by it. But I said, you are blessed beyond belief. You are blessed beyond belief to have a good stepfather. Not all of us have that experience. I said, I wrote that, and I said, and secondly, I'm sure you agree with the point I was trying to make, which is soap should be treated with respect. So he was like, I agree with you. Of course, soap should not be treated with disrespect. He agreed with that whole thing. But the stepchildren comment really bothered him. That's the first time. I don't know if he's trolling me or if that's for real. That's the first time I've ever had that. I've been called out for all kind of stuff. I usually stand by it. I don't give a fuck. But it was kind of funny. But I was like, after the day I had today, which was so horrendous, how you defend my honor to people who don't even know me, almost altering my career, things like this. I go on Twitter and that's what happens. I'll be fine, folks. Life's gonna go on. But apparently he's a fan of mine. So he's like, I'm a fan of your work. I watch all your stuff. But he had to call me out on that. So, I'm just saying, it's very interesting. It's just very interesting. So I don't know if he was trolling me or if that was for real, but I like my response. I'm good. But I was like, that's very interesting. And if he watches this, again, I'm James Lotche. I'm fully who I am. I'm not going to apologize for who I am. And I will use whatever analogies I'm going to use. That's not going to change. And you have choices not to watch me. But I always tell people, everybody has a right to be offended by what they're offended by. Everybody has a right to not like what I say. Because the other comedy mates didn't like my comment about Paulina or whatever. I'm like, that's fine. I mean, I'm not going to argue about that. I mean, that you like it, good. Okay. I gave my opinion. I give you your opinion. Life goes on. I'm not going to argue with anybody their opinions. I know some folks do that. Oh my God, Sylvia, thank you. Oh my God, thank you, Sylvia Mars. $33. I said $30. $3. Thank you so much. That helps me. Thank you. Because now I might have to quit my job. So DC Soap Sanctuary, I got called out. The smoke came my direction from our interview. Already got, some other folks said they enjoyed it. They didn't know who the two guys were. So get to know the two guys. But I got in trouble already. I got in trouble. I got in trouble. How did I get in trouble? Is Andy going? I know you don't watch my lives like these. You don't watch these. The stepchildren comment. They treat subs like stepchildren. And the guy got offended. Yeah, we mentioned DC. We mentioned you, Sarah. We mentioned you on the show. We did. But there was like, I'm a step kid and I love being a step kid. That's what he said. I literally was like, oh my goodness. Okay, this is a first. This is completely a first. I've been in this business 15 years. It is completely a first. I'm sure I said worse things than that on the show last night, but that's what you got offended by. Everybody's triggered by something. They are. So, and seriously, I'm glad they got this. I got mad. So I just laughed. They were supposed to be get your bread. For me, it's like, okay. I mean, he has a right to be offended by what I say. I'm just thinking, but the funny part is we're on the same side. That's what's so. This is psychology of this. We're on. I know. I said as a quick analogy about soaps, and that's what exactly. We were discussing stepkids. 20 people are in here. 20 people. I know. But my thing was that I'm almost like my thing was that was very interesting. That's the first time something like that happened. I'm like, wow, that is actually I've been called out for so many other things, and I know for a fact would offend people. Of all the things I said last night, I had no idea that would be the one that got someone upset. Our live was great. Otherwise, it's doing really well. It's doing very well on my channel. People loved it. Oh yeah, thank you so. Yeah, keep it up. Thank you so. It's so nice of you. Thank you, Norm. I was just saying, not all of us have. Let's talk about that for a second. I had a stepdad for a minute, And then he left. And then I have a lot of friends who have stepdads who were horrible to them because they weren't his kids. That's the point, or stepmoms because they weren't their kid. So there's a lot of stuff. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with stepchildren. Exactly. There's nothing wrong with, or step parents or like that. My mother's remarried. He's not my father. He's kind of my step. I mean, we're all old, so he's kind of my stepdad. But I mean, we don't have a father-son relationship at all because he came in my life in my 40s. But he's my mother's husband. And there were some folks who got offended by me saying that one time on the show. I'm like, but no, that's who he is. I'm 53 years old. He came into my life like at 40. I'm like, I mean, he's not my father. We don't have that kind of relationship. There's nothing wrong. He loves my mom. We get along, he and I get along fine. We have nothing against each other. We're not close. But that's nothing to do with it. I mean, it's like, I mean, we're not close. I mean, we're close, but not close. We're not close like we go to games or we don't do father-son things or like that. But there's nothing wrong with that. My thing was like, he's technically my stepdad, but he's my mother's husband. But either way, I have nothing against him. So I'm like, I'm not talking about, if you have a close relationship with your stepfather, that's good. I think that's great. If you have stepkids, that's good. I have friends who've taken in their stepkids of their own. I remember I did a top 5 somewhere at DIG, something I got Maggie saying I was making a joke and I'm like, bro, oh yeah, yep, that's it. They'll do it. My thing is, feel whatever you want to feel. I put, again, like I said, I put out this stuff. I say what I say. You have a right to feel whatever you feel. You do. You have every right to feel what you have a right to feel whatever you feel. So if you feel offended by what I said, that's fine. Okay. But like for me, I'm not going to change my language. It's not. Like to me, that wasn't to me, it wasn't that bad. For you, it was bad. It triggered you somehow, makes you feel a certain way. Okay, that's fine. I totally accept. I'm not going to argue that either. I accept that. I'm not going to argue it. That's your feeling. I will never argue with your feelings. Your feelings are your feelings. There's nothing for me to argue. But will I use? Well, yeah, so Twitter. He tagged so Twitter. No one commented on it. It's only just him. But my thing is, if I use, I'm gonna probably use it again. If he watches my show, he's gonna have to get over it. That's how it is. And if he watches this show, he's seeing how he's gonna have to get over it. I just think I'm not using. To me, there are worse words. There are words that are way worse. There are situations that are way worse than me using a stepchild analogy. I think it's worse. I'm not using any racial slurs or any slurs of any kind. But I will say, for one of the most unique responses to a show, that's in the top 3. That's like top 2. That's one of the most unique responses I ever had to a show. And I was like, I said, come on, talk about it. I think it's very interesting. Oh yeah, you do skits. I know, it's like, so Twitter is it's very interesting. It's very interesting. But he watched the show, so thank you for watching the show. I totally appreciate it. And thanks for the view, and all that. And I hope to not lose you as a fan, but if I do, I guess. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you. I hope to have a better night. Well, now I'm drinking. So now I'm drinking. So good. After I get off of here, I have an early day tomorrow. I have a organizing client who wants to go to the Flower Mart in downtown LA. Now, you know me, my plants. I love me some plants, flowers. I'm very excited. I have not been since the pandemic. I have my mask on. I'm ready to go. I am so excited to go. We're going to find flowers and plants for our house, for our home. They're really cheap. We have to go early in the morning. So I have to be up by 5:45. That's crazy, right? It's crazy, right? But it should be fun. It should be a lot of fun. I'm excited to do that. I'm excited. But tonight, I think I'm going to watch Bold. Today's Bold and Beautiful. And today's General Hospital. I think those are the 2 I'm going to watch today before I go to bed. It's an hour and a half. I think I could do an hour and a half. I know as a soap Twitter turns, that is funny. As a soap Twitter turns. I can't even say it. Soap Twitter turns. Soap Twitter turns. Soap Twitter turns. I'm going to try to watch those 2 tonight. and then I'll watch Young and the Restless tomorrow for our shows on Sunday. Because Bold's a half hour. That's what it's like 22 minutes. I can do that. And 40 minutes of General Hospital. I think I can get through that. 30-something minutes. 30-something minutes of General Hospital. I'm going to try, you guys. Today's Friday. I want to see the Fridays. But I had a chance to look on Twitter to see exactly what happened. So I don't know what happened. But I'm going to do that, I think. We have 31 watching. Thank you. The likes are at 12. You get up the likes for me a little bit just because I want to get this show more out there. You guys have been so wonderful during these lives that my shows are now being recommended to me. And it's my own show. It's like my own show. I'm like, oh my God, it's great. So when you guys up the likes, it's just like Tetris or something or Pac-Man. It's like every level does something. So that's why Super Chats, that's a new thing for me because I got over 3,000 subscribers. And then now when you get the more likes, it starts putting in the rotation at YouTube. And it really starts to keep it going and going and going. And it starts to recommend people. I have friends tell me, your video on hot dogs, this is kind of funny. I watched yesterday's GH. I just haven't watched today's. I'm caught up on all the soaps as of yesterday. I have not watched today's. Yes, I can't to see what it looks like on him. It's going to be so cute. That shirt, Max is going to look so cute in that shirt. And then we're going to have him on the show. We'll have him on the show. We'll all wear our shirts. That'll be fun. When I'm back on the show, we'll do our shirts. That's so fun. I just ordered it. I got my shirt too. My shirt's I did mine all in yellow. Oh, good. I'm gonna enjoy General Hospital. Good. You gotta watch this too before you on the weekend. Oh yeah, because you do. So DC, you do yours on Saturdays. You do yours on Saturdays. No, it's because the Sunday it works. See, we chose. Okay, I don't know if anybody knows this. When we were at AfterBuzz TV, AfterBuzz TV was closed on Saturdays. They were open 6 days a week, but Saturdays were closed. And so when we started the soap shows, because most of the time we did shows the same night as the show or the next night, we figured it's 5 episodes. Not everybody watches the shows right away. And so we felt that one day in between, a Friday to Sunday, was great. That means everybody has a chance to catch up on the soaps and then watch our show. That was always our thing. Oh wow, you do that too. Well, I'll do something. You're doing all that. That's crazy. That is why I'm saying that's crazy. I do 50 shows, so I'm like, oh, that's crazy. I do 50 shows, so like I'm talking about you do 8 shows. That's crazy. Yeah, I'm the crazy person. I should say I'm the crazy person. By the way, I'm the crazy person. Yeah, the Esme Nicholas thing came out really fast yesterday. I was like, okay. It came out really fast. I was like, wow. I was like, now we got some movement. See, folks, I kept saying General Hospital has had no movement. We finally got some movement. Cheese and crackers. I was so happy about that. I was like, and Ava, more West. She did her job. She understood the assignment, as the kids say. And when all I saw was the interview yesterday. She walked in and was like, you whore, whatever she called her. Ezra was trying to get the fuck out of there. She was like, Ezra's like, I gotta get out of here. And then Ava walks in. Woo! I can't see today's. I gotta see today's. Because I gotta see what happens. But then also Sheila and all that. I'm just on Bowl. I gotta see what happens there too. I know it's crazy. So I gotta do both. But you guys have made me feel so much better already. Oh, Casey from Bowl just said, starting on Monday, the Monte Carlo episodes. I used to watch the Mayans review. Yes, I miss AfterBuzz. Obviously, I work there. I do miss the studio. I miss seeing other people. I don't miss the travel out there. I live 30 miles away. I didn't miss travel. So, I don't know. But I do miss the studio. You saw I was out there recently. And it felt really weird after 2 years being out there. I was like, oh. I was like, there's no AfterBuzz. It's a shell of a building. That's it. An empty shell. Just sitting there on Burbank Boulevard in North Hollywood. Like, dang it. I do miss it. But it's gone. And right now, I don't think it's come back. It's in name only. Oh, there it is. He's in. The guy is in here. There you go. There you go. Okay. Okay, there you go. The guy is here who brought the stepchild comments. You know, I said, like I said to you, like I said on here, you heard me say it on here. I stand by my analogy. I'm not going to change my language, but I understand it offended you, so I do understand that. I do understand that. I may never use it again. I mean, who knows? I mean, I may never use it again. But you still, that is the most interesting comeback to me I've ever had on a show. That's what it is. I've never. You win for most unique comeback to me, because I've said. I mean, I know I've said worse stuff on shows. You know, and you feel. I'm not gonna argue with the way you feel. I'm not gonna argue the way what you feel. You have a right to feel how you feel. You do. I got triggered by something a co-host said once. So, if DC So Sanctuary, he's on here right now. He's on here right now. Chris Ross, he's on here, and you can say hi to him. I think DC is still on here. It was great having him on the show. It was great having Albert on the show. Albert and I don't get along on stuff either all the time, but we totally agree on some things. As I said, I might say it again. I may not, but like I said, I will never argue with you and your feelings. Everybody's feelings are valid. I will never argue your feelings with you. But I don't have, you know, that's, you know, I just said, you know, all I said were, and like I said, D'Italian, I said, you were very blessed that you don't have that experience. You're very blessed. And that's fine. That's fine. You're great. Like I said, like you, D'Italian, I had a horrible father. I'm named after him. I'm named after him. And thank you guys. I'm named after him. And my father didn't do shit for me. So, and I've had people tell me about their wonderful fathers and all this. I'm like, I didn't have that experience. So I don't have that experience either. So I totally get it. But I think the point is we're on the same side. Like I said, he and I are on the same side of the, the Italian gets what I was getting at. And he gets where the analogy comes from. He gets it. He gets that whole point. He gets it. And he knows I respect soaps very highly. Half my life is about soaps. And I was talking to him, he knows why I used it. He just was offended by it. And he has a good stepchild step-parent experience. So I'm glad. I'm glad you did. I know I've said where I just feel we just gonna have to disagree. I feel like there's other worse things I could be saying, which I don't say. There are a lot of things I don't say because I think they're horrible. So now you have to go watch the show. No, me, DC, and Albert, they said let's do a show together, and we had a good time. We talked almost 2 hours. And thank you to everybody who hung out that long, because I think most people are like, I'll do an hour and that's it. I'll do an hour and that's it. Most people don't do more than 2 hours. So it's, I'm glad you guys stayed on for 2 hours. Like I said, I say all kind of stuff. So but I'm not going to be told not to say it, and I'm not going to be told that I should know better. That's not going. I'm a grown man, so I'm 53 years old. I can say whatever I want. But I will also acknowledge that it did trigger you, and in a way that you said that's not me. Like you just said, it's not my experience. I said, but again, it's the most I've never had this conversation before in my entire life. Not for anything else. I've never had it. I will never forget your comment to me. So you've made an impression on me. I will never forget that comment. I will never forget it. That's something and to me, it's not a bad thing. I'll never forget it. I will never forget it. That's how I get at. So, but this the Italian guy said he's a fan of mine. He said he watches my work. He was just offended by that statement. So and he has agreed with me with the Paulina thing too. I didn't respond to that. You saw the Italian respond because I'm like, you have a right not to agree with me. So that's, again, I'm not going to argue with anybody. Everybody has a right to like who they like on their shows. If there are folks, and people know this about me, I did not like Wes Ramsey's acting or this character of Peter. There are folks who loved him. They loved his acting. They would tell me in the chat and they loved it. I didn't argue with them. Okay, you like his acting. You think he's great? Okay, good for you. That's good for you, I guess. Then you like having. And there are folks who want Carly Corinthos on every single day, and I don't think she should be on every single day in every storyline. But if you think that, and you're a Carly fan, then you're winning. You're totally winning. If you love Carly Corinthos, then you are totally winning. I'm like, okay. I mean, then for you, of course, you're happy she's on every day, all the time. I like to see variety. I can see all the actors get some kind of on there. I just do. I mean, my thing is, I'm not even here to really argue with anybody. It's like your feelings are your feelings. You can have them. You're grown. You can have them. I'm not gonna argue with anybody. I mean, that's just kind of like that's how I look at things. I give my opinion. I do what I do. These chats are open for you to give your opinion. I know folks who don't do open chats. They're like, screw the chat. And this time, I'm like, no, I'll let you guys talk. I'm giving my opinion, you're giving your opinion. That's what we do on this show. I mean, it's just at the end of the day, it's a soap opera. And life will go on. I mean, the next day something else will come up. You know, and I'm sure I'll offend a lot more people with some things. I'm sure I will. I'm sure I will. I'm sure I will. You know, but I love doing these shows. I love my fans and my non-fans, and it's all part of this. That's how I look at it. So I'm like, everybody's pages are their pages. Everybody's shows are their shows. Everybody has choice, and the same with the soaps. You don't like soap operas? Don't watch them. If you love soap operas, watch them. Support them. You know, like I said, the bigger thing was we're talking about soaps being treated with respect because a lot of primetime shows use the soaps. They use the soap language. They use the soap everything, and they don't want to call it soap opera. Like that's a dirty word. I remember Kylie Minogue years ago was like, I want to make pop music not a dirty word. It's like, it had to be something different, but pop music, that's just like good. Like disco, you know, things like that. It's like, all that stuff, it's all part of the life. It's all part of life. It's all part of life. And some folks like disco and some folks hate disco. I have friends who hate disco. I mean, how can you play that music, James? It's so, I'm like, I love disco. I don't care. I'm going to continue playing disco. I mean, you know what I mean? Like it's just everybody has their feelings about stuff. And you're right to have your feelings about stuff. That's how I look at it as. I have my feelings, you get yours. Yes. Well, that's very good that you speak up for all great stepfathers out there. That's good. Okay, that's good. I like that's good. You have great experience speaking out there. That's very good. I speak up for stuff all the time. Right. I speak up for things all the time if I hear something I don't like. So that's good. I'm just, you know, there you go. But again, I will never forget you. I will never forget this. This is a very interesting story, very interesting. I've never had this before, so I mean, there you go. I mean, that's the end. I guess that's the end of that. I mean, we just have to agree. We're just going to agree to disagree or whatever. I mean, I don't know. We're disagreeing. It's like just agree to. You feel that way about that? I feel I could use the word if I want to. The analogy I want to. I guess that's the. There's not. I guess we shouldn't beat a dead horse. Soaps are expensive to produce. They're expensive to produce. The networks aren't into them like they used to be. COVID protocols have changed everything. All kinds of stuff. It's all kinds of stuff that's going on in soap opera. People don't understand. They're not paying actors what they used to. Well, you know, it's okay I'm okay with him saying something to me. I say stuff, and I have no problem with him saying something to me. But I'm gonna still do what I want to do. I mean, I'm gonna do what I want to do. But he has a right to say something. I said he has a right to say something. I totally get it. I totally get it. I've caught his point. I got his point. I totally get it. I totally get it. And I'm not gonna talk about it anymore. Now I'm done talking about it. It's like I think we gave it much more attention than needs to be attention. But he has a right to feel what he feels. Like I'm like Michelle Stafford. If you don't like my character, I totally get it. You don't like the character. I mean, like you just can't. People have a right to feel what they feel. So totally got it. I got his point. So I'm not going to beat a dead horse or keep talking about it to death. I got his point. I totally got it. I totally got it. Let's see. But yes, soaps have a lot to deal with in terms of actors. Actors have guarantees. They're guaranteed a certain amount of shows. And a lot of the writers aren't here in Los Angeles. They're somewhere else writing. Same things in. You have that kind of going on. The world's worst stepmother. That's the thing. Some of us had horrible, horrible parents and step-parents, and I wouldn't wish it on anybody. So if anybody has a good experience with a stepfather and wants to speak out for stepdad's good. Same thing. I'm a black father and black grandfather. I speak out for. I'm always saying there are good black men out there who raise their children, and are there for them. I didn't have that experience, but I was the experience. So I was there for my kids, and I'm there for my grandkids. So I do. Yeah. So I speak out on certain things too. I mean, but yeah, I had horrible father, not the greatest stepfather. I mean, I had all kinds of stuff happening. That wasn't great. I did. I just did. We all have different experiences, and things we're not all a monolith either. So there are people who had amazing families and amazing foster families and adopted families. I have friends who had wonderful adoptions and a wonderful family. I have friends who had horrible adoption stories. They just do. It's not fun when families come together. That's good. Yes, so soaps they have a lot to deal with. They do in terms of production and producing them, and we have to be kind of give them a break a little bit with it. Everyone's complaining about the writing, especially on General Hospital. And writing a soap opera, I'm sure cannot be easy. I would never. Someone asked me once, would you want to work on a soap opera?" I wouldn't. I would turn it down. If someone said, "James, you want to be a writer on General Hospital?" or nope, the fans are too much. I can't, because you can't please everybody. You just can't. You can't please. Soap opera fans are all over the place. You can't even blame one set of fans. They're just all over the place. I may love something, and you in the chat room may hate it. I may love this storyline, and this person over here hates the storyline. It's like 10 people can watch Days of Our Lives, and all have 10 different reactions. So my thing is like, that's I can't do a soap opera. A sitcom, yes. A 1 hour drama, maybe. But I just can't. I can't do it. It's too fickle. People want certain couples together, certain couplings together, certain this together. Yes, and yes, the quarter storyline. That was what everybody was divided on. And it's funny, Albert didn't know what Mandingo meant. So that was very interesting. He didn't know what that meant. I thought he said it went over his head. I thought he meant like the storyline. But like, you know what Mandingo is? And you're a black man? He didn't know. So I can't assume, can always assume people know everything or everything. So my thing was like, okay. I killed so I hope yes, I know. Many things coming at them. Yeah, I couldn't. Oh no, I couldn't. It's too much. Because if I get blowback from what I like on soaps and don't like on soaps already as a commentator. I'm not even on the show. I'm just a commentator talking about reviewing shows, saying I don't like certain things or like certain things. I see what the writers get. The writers and the producers get so much hatred from everybody. I'm like, is there anything? I'm like, does anybody who's nice actually say something nice to the writers and producers? I mean, like, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, because even this Trina Sprina storyline, I know folks who love it and folks who hate it. I know folks who are into it kind of, and folks who are kind of not into it. Like, so I don't even know, like, if you're a soap person who writes for soaps and produces them, and I have fans tell me all the time, they should listen to me or should listen to us fans. I go, but then which fans? Like, which fans do you listen to? Because every fan is different. I don't know. My thing is, there are folks who hate Nicholas, the actor who plays Nicholas, Marcus Coloma's performance. I've never had a problem with his performance. I don't get what everybody's seeing. I've never had a problem with it, but folks hate his performance. I don't know why. I think it's been fine. And then you have him with Maura West, who's the queen. She's the queen. Maura West is the queen. You can get Maura West the worst material on earth, like she was on Young and the Restless, and she can still turn it into some kind of gold. It's like Maura West can do that. And yesterday's scenes with Nicholas were so good. It's just like she understood the assignment. She knew. We just knew. We knew that she was going, and the writing to me was good. I said the same thing, Annie. I don't think Trina and Spencer belong together, to tell you the truth. And Trina fans hate me for saying that. And I said because I feel like Trina deserves someone better than Spencer. Spencer has a lot of life living to do and growing up to do. And I'm sorry, I'm Black. And I always fight for my Black actors and characters. And I think if you think Trina's the queen or the princess or wherever she is, then you should want something better for her. Right now, Rory seems to be better for her. So I'm just like, I'm going by, and see, people got mad at me because when I said the actor who plays Rory is in his mid-30s and married with kids, and the actress who plays, was like 19, I go, would you want your 19-year-old with 30? No, of course not. In real life, you wouldn't want that. But because everybody was hot in the pants for Rory, they couldn't see out their eyes. It's like, but I'm just saying, I look out for Black characters on soaps. Let's say, get back to you, Jason, before I fight you. I'll tell you. It's like, but you know what I mean? It's just like, I have a right to think that Trina deserves a really good man. And then I said, what if they had brought a young Black man on the show? And people got mad at me. I'm just asking a question, like, why not? We can't see Black love on television. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with wanting her? I'm not saying she has to just be with a Black man. I'm just saying that what if they brought someone on who was Black and it put him into the mix? Like, just why not? There are no young Black men on the show. Besides, TJ's not really young. He's a doctor now. I'm just saying, why not? I'm just saying, I'm all for interracial love. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't interracial love. I'm 47% white, according to my ancestry DNA. But I'm just saying, I'm like, why is that wrong? Why is it wrong to be? I'm not saying it shouldn't be just that. I'm not against interracial stuff. Clearly, my family, my kids are all look white. But I'm like, no, I'm just saying, why not have that option? Why can't it be an option? Why can't that be an option? And chemistry is one thing too. And some people see the chemistry, some people don't. So I'm like, but I think highly of the character of Trina, and I want her to have the best of the best. But she's on a soap, so of course you have to go through the soapy goodness. That's what happens. But as a soap writer, people be telling me, no, put them together, don't put them together, don't put them together. I'm like, that would give me whiplash. And someone in here mentioned Brad Bell. Ron Calavardi, Brad Bell, Frank Nazzi, they don't care. They're not going to listen to you guys. They don't give a fuck. They don't care. They're writing what they want to write. They're putting out what they want to put out. And they're hoping you'll follow along. That's what they're doing. And I'm almost like, is that the way to do it? Even though I'm like, this Cody thing is a little much. This Cody Britt thing is a little too much. But you know what I mean? It's like, how can you can't make everybody happy? You can't. And that's why I would never want to work on soaps. Never. Never. Because that's just too much. I'll watch soap operas, I will comment on them, but I would not want to work on them. I got ideas, but who's to say people want my ideas? They'll be like, James, I'm like, don't fuck your ideas. Well, mine too. Mine has nothing to do with race either. Mine's just like, it's just that he's a man child. Spencer's a man child. I have nothing with race. And Nicholas Chavez is doing it. He won his Emmy. He is doing great work. Yeah, I don't know who Russell Wine are either. I have no idea. I should look at the credits. I have no idea. I have no idea either. What's going on? But some weeks it's great, and some weeks it's just like flatline. Yes. And Days Are Alive got all kind of stuff going on that show. All kind of stuff on there. So I guess we'll see on there too. And there's some actors on there which would go off the show. I'm like, yeah, I can do without you. You know, oh, Josh Griffin. Oh, he does. Okay, Josh Griffin. Okay, you know, yes. Kidlets. I've been on for almost an hour. Is it already? Jesus. I'm like 40 minutes. Okay. Thank you for the super chats. I totally appreciate them. Seriously, it helps the bottom line of my company. Thank you so much. Buymeacoffee.com, James Law Jr., jljmedia.threadless.com. I have shirts and bags and purses and all kind of stuff. Putting more stuff up. I'm going to watch my shows. You guys got me talking about them. I got to see what happens on Bold and General Hospital tonight. I'm going to watch them. I may come on tomorrow afternoon for a daytime today in the afternoon. I may. Except I'm going to Flower Mart in the morning. But thank you so much. You guys, I feel much better. I had a long day. It was crazy. I said I had to defend my honor at a job. And we'll see I'll keep you posted on what happens there with that job, that client. We'll see what happens. But coming on Thursday, people are watching. I had no idea anybody would come on at this late evening. Some folks say I should do a night show. I'm like, no, I already got a morning and day show. I'm more of a day person. But thank you so much again, as always. The conversations are always great. And I'll see you again soon.